Hey, welcome to Great American Movie Review. Another one of these mini reviews. This time, me and Mikiah again, once again, solo on this one. And this week, I went to go check out The Holdovers. The Holdovers takes place at a New England prep school over the winter holiday in 1970 as Paul Hunnam, a curmudgeonly history teacher, is tasked with watching over the remaining students who have nowhere else to go. The cast is headlined by Paul Giamatti as Mr. Hunnam, and Paul Giamatti, he's just one of these great actors, and I don't get to see him lead as many films. He's always been kind of an unconventional leading man in so many different types of movies, frequently playing kind of schlubby, down on his like type characters. But he's always great. And it's been a while since I've really gotten to see him in a leading role in a film. He's been more relegated to supporting roles lately. But it's just really great to see him again in this kind of role and given material that really he can just give himself to. The film largely follows the relationship between Hunnam and the bright yet rebellious Angus, one of the students who's left behind for the holiday season. Played by Dominic Sessa, this is his first acting credited role, although you wouldn't know it because of how good he is in this movie. Divine Joy Randolph plays a character named Mary Lamb. She's the cook at this school, and she also is behind with Giamatti and the students, and she's playing a mother who has experienced a recent tragedy in her life, and you really get this dynamic between these three characters here, and just the way that they rub off on each other and the antagonism between them. So you have Giamatti and you have Angus kind of going at it the whole time, and because Giamatti's in this movie, he is not just a curmudgeon, but he's a stickler, and all the students hate him. He's the worst teacher, not because he doesn't know what he's doing, but because he's just so tough on these kids. And he has a very specific philosophy about why he's that way. But you really get to these characters as they kind of break each other down throughout the film. And I mean, this is my kind of Christmas movie because it's not just all about holiday cheer and it's not just shenanigans and all of that stuff. I do feel like this is a Christmas movie, though. There's some movies that, people argue and debate Christmas or not, It's set around the holiday for sure, but that's a big point in this movie is these familial ties and how complex they can be. There's the longing for it and also the heartbreak and the hurt that comes from it. There's just so many different dynamics at work within particularly these three characters. Now, the core of the film is definitely Angus and Mr. Hunnam kind of butting heads, whereas Mary gets to kind of play a supporting role to them kind of going at it all the time. The film is directed by Alexander Payne, who did Election, The Descendants, Sideways, so many great films. His last film was 2017's Downsizing, which I didn't feel too over the moon about. I was a bit underwhelmed by that one. I was really excited for it, but I'm glad to see him like really just kind of knock it out of the park with this one. The film is really committed to its period aesthetic. That 1970 look and feel is all over it, not just in the period detail and the settings and environments and everything, but in the actual filmmaking itself, even the logos at the opening of the film. It's not just they did the logos and then that was it, like some films will do, but it was, no, the logos and even like the crackling and the audio and the actual filmmaking itself all just, this feels like a 70s film, and they really succeeded at creating that. But there's a real just honesty to these characters, and like I said, the way they just kind of rub off on each other over time and get to learn more. It is kind of the embodiment of the it's hard to hate people up close kind of philosophy. And when you're a teacher, usually you're keeping yourself at a little bit of a distance, and as a student, you're not really interested in getting to know your teacher that much. So these two characters who are generally disliked by most of the other people around them being forced together is both very amusing and leads to just some absolutely terrific writing and character dynamics. And this is definitely one of the best scripts of the year too. David Hemmingson is the person who wrote it, and he's worked on a ton of TV, not many films though. And so it's yeah, he just kind of came out. I don't know what caused him to write this, but I mean, yeah, it's really good. Yeah, this film really struck a chord with me, particularly with its just being centered around the holidays season and the bane of family. Both, like I said, both good and the hard parts of it. Because at the end of the day, everybody wants a family. Everybody wants a place to call home and people to call home. But so often life gets in the way, and frequently you find yourself getting in the way. And there's a real beauty in what this movie's able to capture with those feelings and with these people. But that'll do it for my quick non-spoiler thoughts on the Holdovers. We're in that time of year now. We've kind of had some like a dead spell with strikes and stuff going on, getting a lot of delays and shifting movie schedules and everything. So it's really nice to, one, the strike's finally over, so thank goodness for that. And also now it's hit that nice award season, kind of movies are all starting to come out. So usually you get some of the best movies around this time of year, but this year I like especially feel like I need this time of year to deliver some good things. So I'm really pleased to say that this is definitely one of the best movies of the year. And if it's playing around you, it just went wide, go and check it out. I think it's a wonderful film. But that's all that I have to say for the Holdovers. And yeah, thank you for joining me on another one of these mini reviews, and we'll see you at the movies.